To get to that breaking news, while Sky 5 flies over the scene of this fire in Cheatham County, our pilot and photographer actually spotted the smoke from far away. And as you can see as they zoom in right here, it appears a large mobile home has burned to the ground. Again, this is Sands Creek Road near Ashland City. We're told the Ashland City Fire, as well as Kingston Springs and some other fire crews are responding. We are hearing that there are no reported injuries, so that is the good news. But of course, difficult area right here as they have had to truck water in. It appears they may be allowing that building to burn out while monitoring the situation, making sure none of the trees or brush nearby catches fire.
And we've got more breaking news. This coming out of East Nashville. Firefighters were on the scene of a market along Dickerson Pike earlier this morning. News Channel 5's Dan Kennedy has been on the scene for us all morning as well. And Dan, it looks like the firefighters have cleared out of there, but do they have any idea what started that blaze overnight?
They still want to look into it, and they'll be back out here a little later today as they begin to assess what happened at the Uptown Fruit Market on Dickerson Pike in East Nashville. But Steve, they believe it started in the ceiling of this fruit market. This is what it looked like when we first got out here. About 4 o'clock this morning is when flames were first seen. It was called in, the 911 firefighters arrived, and there was a whole lot of smoke coming out of the rooftop of this Uptown Fruit Market. Thankfully, nobody was inside. It closes down at about 10 o'clock, so they don't know if it's electrical or what exactly could have caused this fire. It's something they're going to look into. But these firefighters were very busy, not only this morning, but also last night. Many of these crews worked that big fire out on Nippers Corner as well. And so we talked with the district fire chief out here who says the EMTs wanted to check on the firefighters just to make sure they're all staying hydrated and okay.
Well, we try to always do it, get their blood pressure, take their vitals when they come out because of the hard work, but even more so this time because a lot of these companies were at the apartment fire in South Nashville earlier this evening.
Thankfully, all the firefighters were okay. No injuries to report, and the cause has not yet been determined. Coming up at 7:30, we're going to take you inside for a look at some of the damage. Reporting live off Dickerson Pike, Dan Kennedy, News Channel 5.
Thank you, Dan. Well, be careful when grilling this summer. Firefighters think a backyard barbecue may be to blame for a fire that damaged several homes in Nippers Corner. That's where those firefighters were earlier in the night. Flames were shooting through the roof when the fire crews pulled up on Lazy Creek Lane just before 7 o'clock. It was so intense the home next door also caught fire. In all, 3 units were damaged. Thankfully, though, no one was hurt. 2 people remain in the hospital this morning after flames ripped through an apartment complex in Lincoln County. It happened at the Valley View Apartments in Fayetteville early yesterday morning. The flames were so intense it took firefighters nearly 6 hours to get that fire completely out. 2 residents were airlifted to Vanderbilt with injuries. No word on their condition this morning or how that fire got started.
Brandon Banks' lawyers want a new trial already. He's only been convicted for less than 72 hours. A jury found him guilty of 1 count of aggravated rape and 1 count of aggravated sexual battery on Friday. Banks, the 3rd defendant to be convicted in that Vanderbilt rape case. But his lawyer called the verdict inconsistent. Banks is looking at 15 years in prison, and that's just on the aggravated rape charge. Sentencing is scheduled for August.
The man accused of brutally murdering a teenager will face a judge later this morning. Metro Police say Mitchell Tarver stabbed Joshua Taylor in the neck during an argument on Murfreesboro Pike last week. He was rushed to the hospital but did not survive. Tarver is charged with criminal homicide. And a 14-year-old boy is dead after an accidental shooting over the weekend. His 19-year-old friend is now being charged with his killing. Police say Zachary Abel was handling a gun in a car early Saturday morning in Hermitage when it went off. Now that bullet hit Abel in the hand and also hit his 14-year-old friend Clayton Ganji. He drove them both to the hospital, but Ganji later passed away. Abel is charged with criminal homicide. A vigil will be held for Ganji at DuPont Hanley Middle School's athletic fields. That begins tonight at 6 o'clock.
The family says pay attention. One family urging drivers to pay attention after a truck collides with the motorcyclist, killing him. News Channel 5's Matthew Torres spoke with that family, now taking action to keep others aware when they're behind the wheel.
And somebody had done a public post that there was a bad motorcycle wreck. I texted my brother and he didn't respond.
Elizabeth Daly knew something was wrong. What she first read on Facebook was only the start of a tragic reality.
We're doing about as well as we can be given this situation.
It's been 1 month since her brother died from a motorcycle accident.
He was always smiling, always there to help somebody. You know, he was just full of life.
Bike rider Gary White was only a few blocks away from home when a woman struck him with her pickup truck at this intersection. White had the right of way. The woman possibly rolled through a stop sign.
She pushed the bike and our brother 38 foot before stopping.
The father of 3 would die from his injuries a week later.
His skull was fractured in 2 different places.
Police say the driver was not under the influence and was cited for failing to yield the right of way, which resulted in death, a violation that cost $500 and a possible revoked license for up to a year.
The penalties need to be raised.
White's family says it's not enough.
That's not justice for taking my brother's life or anyone else's life.
So far, there have been 61 motorcycle-related deaths in Tennessee. That's more than the total number last year. As the family continues to grieve, they simply ask for at least one thing.
Pay attention.
Just know the severity and the penalty behind your actions.
Matthew Torres reporting for us. The DA's office has looked into the case and stricter penalties are not expected. The family is hoping to present the petition, though, to a lawmaker in the future.